Hello and welcome to HCS Connects. I'm Kelly Gorel with Hampton City Schools. Today we have a special guest with us, Miss Lynette Jennings, who is a behind-the-wheel instructor for Hampton City Schools. So welcome to HCS Connects.
Thank you.
And you obviously assist with behind the wheel for Hampton City Schools, but you're also a PE and health teacher, driver's education teacher at Kecoughtan High School, correct?
Correct.
All right, so driver's education. I know that students, this is this newfound freedom. A lot of them are very excited to get behind the wheel as it's that next milestone into being an adult. But parents, that's a little daunting as we're sending, our babies, our children out behind a vehicle that it could be dangerous.
Sure.
So explain to me, let's start with when are our young people able to get that permit?
Okay. Students are able to get their permits when they turn 15 and 6 months.
Okay, so 15 and a half.
Yes.
So how does that work? Where do they go? What do they have to do to get that permit?
They don't necessarily need to do anything specific, but make sure they have the appropriate documents to go to DMV. That is verifying their legal presence. Parents have to consent, of course. Their birth date, their certificate, and all of that identifies who they are. And the parent or guardian, of course, has to consent, as I said. But they go there, they take their test, and if they pass, they get their permit.
When you say they take their test, is this a driving test, a written test, an oral? What is this test?
The test is a written test, and it is two-part. One is a signed test in which they must score 100%.
Oh, wow.
And the other test is a knowledge-based test, which is 80% accuracy, in which they must pass to get their permit.
So they take this test at DMV?
The test is taken at DMV, correct.
And is it on the computer? I mean, I know that back in the day it was pencil and paper, but I don't want to date myself too much. But is it computer now?
It is a computer-based test.
Okay.
However, a student can opt to take a written test.
Okay.
It's the same test, but some do prefer the paper pencil format.
Over the computer, so
Over
there are
the computer.
options.
Yes, ma'am.
So they go in with their parent.
Yes.
The parent has the appropriate documentation. They
Sure.
take this test. There are, requirements as far as scoring on the test, and then they receive this permit. Is there a cost for the permit?
There is an initial cost, anywhere from $3 to $20 at the time they take the test, depending upon if they pass it. So they will be assessed a fee. Like if they fail the test and they have to retake the test, it's free at that time. So it's only until they take the test and pass that they are charged a fee. And so that fee can range.
I hate to
depending
ask
upon
this.
how many times they take the test.
How many times are they allowed to take the test?
They are allowed to take the test 3 times. After the 3rd time, they are required to take what's called a re-examination course. It's an 8-hour course, and it is offered through the private sectors. Currently, Hampton City Schools does not provide the course.
Okay, but that's 3 times, so kind of like 3 strikes, you're out.
3 strikes, you're out.
I mean, I hate to say this, but if by 3 times, I think that course is probably pretty beneficial because we're putting a young person out behind the wheel.
Yes, yes.
Now, how can they study for this? If it's important to pass this within 3 times, I mean, is there any resources out there where they can study, to learn that information?
Sure. In the students' driver education class, which is offered typically during their sophomore year, they can take part of driver education actually is part of their curriculum.
So it's during the school day,
during the school day,
during health time.
During their health unit or health semester,
Okay.
they are offered a driver education class. That class is about 32 periods of instruction, which probably equates around about 36 hours.
Okay.
And during that time, the student is introduced to a lot of content in those hours. And it is mandated that the student takes the course if they want to get a license prior to 18. Now, it is part of our curriculum as it is a requirement for graduation, so they must pass it for that aspect, for graduation.
So basically pay attention
Yes.
during class because that's the information you're going to go to DMV
Right.
and have up to 3 times to take a test to get that permit.
Exactly.
Or they're kind of out of luck and have to go to a private sector, which I'm assuming is probably pretty costly
It can be.
to do that in order to go back and take that test again.
Yes.
So let's say we've got all stellar students. We
Yes.
know that they are rock stars, they pay attention in class, they go out and they pass that test the first time.
Absolutely.
I've got that permit, now what?
Well, when you leave DMV, they're going to give you a paper copy. They will send you the hard copy in the mail.
Okay.
Okay, so within about 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, you will get a hard copy of the permit in the mail. But after they get their permit, they should start driving, practice driving. It's called a learner's permit for a reason. During that time, it is mandated that they log in 45 hours of guided practice time.
You said guided.
Guided
So what does that mean?
practice time. That means with a parent or guardian that is, or family member that is over 18, because it can be a sibling,
So I can't go out though with my best friend who already has their license.
or a best friend if that best friend is over 21.
Is over 21.
Over 21 and holds a valid license.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't want to not follow those rules and be pulled over because you would probably lose that permit for quite a while.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got this permit. We have to get logged 45 hours of guided driving time.
Yes.
You know, is it specific to neighborhood roads, highways?
It actually covers everything that is going to be on your permit test. And this is the 45-hour guided practice log. This is also a supplemental book that is given at DMV when the student gets their permit. It is also a supplement to the classroom.
Okay.
And it has teaching material inside for the parent, because probably you were not taught the way that we're teaching. I certainly was not
Hey now.
taught. I know I was not taught the way that we teach driver's ed today. So the book has a breakdown of short lessons for the parent, and at the end, they are to log and give consent that they have driven the 45 hours. Now, what would they do with this afterwards? They tear the log out,
Okay.
and they surrender the log to the Behind the Wheel school in which they would like to get a license from.
So, and Hampton City Schools offers the opportunity of Behind the Wheel.
We do, yes,
So
ma'am.
tell us about Behind the Wheel. Do they have to log the 45 hours before they start Behind the Wheel?
By law, we cannot make them log the hours prior to the class because it's a driver education class. We're
Okay.
teaching them how to drive. And should you as a parent wish that your child, you're like, I'm so nervous. I don't have the nerves for this. I don't have the vehicle for this. I cannot do this. I don't have anyone to
Hey.
assist me with this.
I never went out with my mom. She probably had me at high anxiety when I was trying to learn to
Sure,
drive. So
sure.
if she's watching this now, sorry, Mom, but I always went with my dad.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
kept me calm on that interstate for the first time around here because traffic's a little crazy.
It is, it is. And with the log, so if you wish not to, we do suggest students log at least 20 hours prior
Okay.
to coming in. It gives them a greater chance at the end of the 14 hours that is required for the school to offer, that to give them greater success rate.
So I'm ready to start Behind the Wheel. Where do I go? How do I register? How much does that cost? So there's a lot of details to that.
There is some details. If you'd go to Hampton City Schools website, under athletics or under the parent or student tab, there is information on Behind the Wheel. And Behind the Wheel is $110 this year. And
And that could
registration-
fluctuate depending on funding that's received, but it's 110 for this current year.
It does.
Okay.
This year it is 110. And your registration is online. They can download the registration, mail it in, or walk it in to the office of 1 Franklin Street on the 5th floor. And we receive cash, check, or cashier's check, money order for payment, and register for one of the 15 to 20 sessions that we offer during the school year. And we also offer summer sessions.
So is a student able to register themselves, or does a parent need to register the student?
Well, the parent has to give consent.
Okay.
Always. So there is some paperwork that the parent needs to complete. And of course, they must have their permit, and they must have, we would like 20 hours, but of course, we would take 0 hours because we are a driving school, and that's what we do. We teach.
So when I show up that first day, what do I need to have with me?
On the first day, we would like for you to have your permit, of course, because you can't drive without it. You will be driving. It is no more written assignments, so it's all skill, and so you will be driving. We'd like for you to have your 45-hour log or 20 hours, or just tell us we really did not do any hours up front. And
Be honest, please, as you're getting
Yes,
behind the wheel with them for the
please be
first time.
honest. Yes. And you would need your green card. Your green card is the certificate of completion in which we talked about the classroom portion of driver education, that after the classroom is completed or after the student completes the 36 hours, then they are given a certificate of completion.
And that's what we dub as the green card.
And that's what we dub as the green
I
card.
know you have one with you. Let's take a look at that
We
green
do.
card.
This is the green card, and it's just the green card because it's the color green.
Right.
Yes. There is other districts. There's one other district in the state that has a different color.
Okay.
And because they have different requirements by legislation.
And I hate to bring this up, but
Sure.
we know that sometimes that green card gets lost before it heads over to behind the wheel. So
Okay.
what does a student have to do if they've misplaced their green card?
They can contact the instructor that issued the card, or they can request a duplicate from Hampton City Schools. Our main office can reissue you a copy.
But they need to have that on that first day.
We would like for them to have it on the first day. We
Okay.
know that it may get lost, and once they are in the system, it is verified that they do have their permit. So when they come to me, I have already the roster that identifies the student does have a passing grade for the classroom, and they do have a permit.
Okay. So they go through the behind the wheel portion. Where is that located?
Behind the Wheel is located at Phoebus High School. It's adjacent to the softball field,
Okay.
where the main parking lot is at Phoebus High School. It's fenced in. You would see the orange cones out there in our vehicles with the sign on top that says student driver.
How long does the behind the wheel portion last?
Behind the Wheel is 14 hours.
Okay, so 14 hours, and that's offered several days a week, or how
Yes.
do the sessions work?
It's 14 hours total, 2 hours a day, and our sessions run Monday through Thursday from 4 or 4:10 because of the pushback with the
The schedule?
schedule of school. So if we need to start at 4:10 to accommodate some of our school students that come from furthest out, like Bethel, we accommodate them. But typically we start at 4 and we end at 6. Or if it's 4:10, it's 6:10.
And there are multiple sessions that our young people can select from, even during the summer, if
Yes.
they've just got too much going on during the school year. And does that run all summer long as well?
It runs throughout the summer. So we run this
excellent.
program throughout the entire year, basically. We have maybe a 2-week down period at the end of the summer, right at the start of school, and another, off during the end of school. Immediately we would start right back up that following Monday, because usually we have a lot of seniors who are leaving, they want to get their license
Right.
before they go to college. So we do offer a session like the following Monday we get out of school, and then there may be a break around December, depending upon us getting the 14 hours in with a certain level of continuity and consistent with the hours as we run into holiday schedules.
So once they've done behind the wheel, they've logged their 45 hours, I've turned 16. Am I able to have my license right at 16?
16 and 3 months.
Oh, so that's the 16 and 3 months.
Yes,
So it's
ma'am.
15 and a half for a permit, 16 and 3 months for the license.
15
That
and
is
3 months.
that is different than whenever, again, I'm dating myself, I went through, because I remember I turned 16 and I was ready to have my license.
Yes.
Very excited to have my license.
Yes.
So then they go back to DMV to get their license? How does that work?
Now, we will issue you the license.
Oh, okay.
So the student receives what's called a TDL, which is a temporary driver's license. It looks like this.
And that's what you carry around with you?
This
when
is
you're
a
driving.
paper copy of the student's license.
Okay.
And up here in the upper right-hand corner would be the date in which this is mature. So the date in which the student will be able to drive by him or herself.
Okay.
Okay, this expires in 6 months. During the 6 months period, DMV in Richmond will process the student for a license. They will convert the permit to a driver's license, and then a letter will be sent in the mail to the home address on file. Now, once the student receives the letter, it also says attend court. So there is a graduated licensing procedure in which the parent or guardian must attend for the student to receive their license.
And I remember doing that myself.
Yes.
So that is something that's been going on for a very long time, that court date where you
Yes.
go before the judge and,
Yes. And at the end of the ceremony, the judge will hand the parent or guardian the license, because technically it belongs to them. It is theirs.
It is
and
theirs.
it is at that point that the parent or guardian can surrender it over to their child.
wow.
Yes.
So that's a long process.
It is a long process, but it's a process that is worth every bit of the time that the student needs.
Well, you're putting, someone behind the wheel of a dangerous machine.
Sure.
And they need to make sure that they know what to do in certain situations. And what a great opportunity, though, because I know that even certain school divisions, within Hampton Roads, cut the behind the wheel portion when kind of the economy had the recession back in 08-09, and due to budget cuts have not been able to bring that back.
They have.
And so this is a great opportunity for our young people because there is a cost.
It is.
But $110 is probably a third to a fourth of what it would cost to go out to a different company.
It is. It is. We don't pride ourselves in making money off the program. The program is just in place so that we can provide a service to the community, and at a cost that is not going to break the bank. For a student to say that, yeah, my child paid, or the parent to say, I had to spend $350 for my child to get a license. Wow, that's a lot of money
It is a lot
that's
of
a lot of money. Yeah.
Well, before we end, and I hate to almost ask this, but I think it might bring a little bit of laughter.
Okay.
You said you've been doing this for quite a while.
Yes.
Any crazy situations that jump off the top of your head where you had a student out and you thought, oh my?
Yeah, students come with a little baggage. Sometimes the baggage is because they just have increased level of anxiety. But it is our job to minimize this. We are trained professionals. We are certified professionals, and we want to meet the student where they are. So we want to alleviate the anxiety level. We do want them to enjoy the experience. This is the best opportunity. This is the most memorable experience that they would probably have in their high schools. They cannot mess this up. You can mess up a math equation or, fail to dot an I or cross a T in English, but this really has serious consequences. And we do want to convey that, but we also want the student to enjoy themselves and have the best time of their life when they're with us.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
This is some great information that hopefully will be very beneficial to our young people as well as their parents.
Sure. I enjoyed it. Great. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on HCS Connects. In the meantime, stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Jump over to our website or our YouTube station. Thanks and have a great day.